Hello everybody! Today's video is Sawyer's autism journey. I'm gonna go from birth to where we are now. Now, if you are new here, I'm Emily and I have 6 children, and I have 2 children that are special needs. Both of them are they're my twins, Sawyer and Griffin. Griffin has Angelman syndrome and Sawyer has autism. And I just want to go over Sawyer's story from beginning to end, just to share with you what we missed, what doctors missed, and where we are trying to get him help right now. I was 39 weeks pregnant when I had my twins. I know, crazy, right? It's an intense story. You guys should definitely watch the birth vlog. It's intense, and like, I know we don't capture a lot of like how crazy it was, but it was a very emotional, crazy birth. I almost died. We didn't talk about it because it was kind of a scary moment, but in my birth story of the twins, I do talk about it, so I'll link those too. All right, so Sawyer, they were 39 weeks. They both were born very fast, both boys. Griffin flew out and Sawyer actually was breech, and they could not get him out, and he actually was born not alive. They had to resuscitate him for a few minutes. And I remember in the footage, I really don't, when you watch the birth vlog, you don't really know what is happening, but you see all these nurses over there and they're doing a bunch of stuff, and we found out later, because they didn't tell us until we got the bill for resuscitation, that he was not alive when he was born, and it was shocking to us. So that's how Sawyer started. Now, Sawyer, in my opinion, was totally typical. Nothing was abnormal about him. He was a quiet baby. He slept pretty good. He kind of hit every milestone up until the age of 1. Like, he said mama, dada. He gave us great eye contact. And I would say about 13-14 months, we started seeing like it slipping. Like, he would be mesmerized with the television and he would look at me, or he would just completely not be able to hear me. And so around 18 months, I think, give or take a few months, we got his ears checked. He was fine. And in the midst of all that, with Griffin's story, which I'm going to do a whole nother video about Griffin next, in the next few weeks, Griffin was very sick at this time. And I think doctors just couldn't fathom that we were having another child with difficulty. And everyone just kept telling me, you know, wait, you know, we're part of a big family. I just had another baby. Posey was just born. And they kept saying, you know, he just needs more time. You know, he needs more time. He's really quiet. He's introvert, you know, da, da, da. And so I just went, okay, you know, I had a lot on my plate, and I went, okay, I'm not gonna worry about it. Things started getting worse and worse. Like, eye contact was literally nothing around, I would say 2, a little over 2. And he wouldn't answer to his name. He would not respond to us. And it got worse and worse. And around 2.5, I was like, okay, we need to get some help. Now, at this point, he was not eligible because of where he was and how close his birthday was to do early intervention. So we had to wait. And then we did get him evaluated around 3. And because Sawyer, Sawyer he could say single words. Like, there never was a moment where he was like nonverbal. He had many single words. Vocabulary was off the charts. But again, single words, cup, ball, you know, he could count. And so I believe that because he was so smart in his vocabulary, that people just went, oh, well, he's smart, he'd be fine, you know, whatever, he can count, you know, wow, he's a 2.5-year-old, 3-year-old, he can count, whoa. And so he got evaluated when he was a little over 3, and he did qualify for speech. Now, at that time, I was pretty shocked that he didn't get more, because 1, he's a toe walker. Toe walker since he could take his first steps. Still is a toe walker. 99.9% of the time he's on his toes. 2, sensory overload kid. This kid spins out of control. He grabs things. He needs things. And we're in New York at this time. And again, I think because he was so smart, they just went, there's no way. There's just no way. Give him more time. He did qualify for speech, but where we were living, there were no speech therapists available at all. We had to wait for 10 months for his speech therapist. We got one, they wouldn't give him services. It was a hot mess. Everyone just kept saying, wait, give him more time. And it was a disaster. It really was not was not good for him. And I am not blaming anybody. I'm not angry. I just am frustrated that when your kid is so needing help, we couldn't get it. So he went to preschool the next year when he turned 4, and that is when everybody went, oh, well, Sawyer's autistic. Oh my gosh, Sawyer's autistic. Ah! And they did his evaluation. This was this last October. We are now in February. Not February, I'm in January. I'm trying to jump ahead. And he was diagnosed with autism, but which, I mean, literally his diagnosis I wasn't even shocked by. I knew it since he was 3 for sure. And it was hard because I knew that he could have gotten more help sooner, and maybe he wouldn't be struggling so hard right now. And so he was diagnosed in October, and he was doing therapy in school, but again, we're in COVID world. He was only getting 2 days a week of therapy, and you know, he was in PT, OT, and speech. So he was doing pretty well. So he got diagnosed in October. We ended up moving to Colorado Springs in end of November, right after Thanksgiving, because both my boys were not getting the appropriate services they needed in New York, and they weren't getting enough help. They need as much as they can possibly get because they have serious issues, and I want them to be the best people they possibly can be, and not doing anything is not gonna work. So we literally, my husband got a transfer, we packed up everything in 60 days, and we're here. We've been here a month now. Sawyer has already started receiving PT. He's done all his evaluations for speech and OT. We're still waiting for the scripts from the doctors so that they can start. And they're starting preschool here, and they're gonna get therapies in preschool too, which is like, they're getting double. Like, that's amazing to me. They're gonna have double speech, double PT, double OT in school here. It's gonna be amazing. And preschool here is 4 days a week. And yes, it's only half days, but it's that repetitiveness for Sawyer, I think, is gonna be so good for him. He loves school, he loves learning. It is going to be so good for him to go to school. So that is where we are now. Now I want to talk about Sawyer's strengths and weaknesses right now, about, you know, where he's at mentally and where he's at with his, you know, academics and everything. So speech, we'll talk about speech first. Sawyer has a ton of single words, like I said before. Sentences are still really hard for him. He has really hard time stringing words together. Yesterday, it was so funny. Our Posey, his little sister, had her shoe off, and she was like crying, and I was trying to help her put her shoe on, and he comes up to her and goes, "What happened to your shoe?" And I was like, great sentence, like, oh my gosh, like, it was so good. Sentences are really hard for him. Like, when he wants something, he'll say cracker, or he'll say open it, or he'll say come. So we're still working on sentences. So speech, in my opinion, it's coming. It's just very slow. Yeah. Sensory, OT, therapy. He is sensory overload kid. I do think he will eventually be diagnosed with ADHD. He's very hyper. Not all the time, but there's moments where he is bouncing off the wall, and it's a lot. So sensory, what he does, he spins out of control. Hopefully I'll have a link of some footage of him going really fast for you. And he likes to like knead pillows. He likes to grab them and just knead over and over again. He does this a lot. I think noise, he doesn't really plug his ears under the ears, but I think he can plug his ears to the sounds. He doesn't really, I mean, I think he's okay with loud sounds because he's in a huge family and we're just loud always. I think if he was the only child, sounds would be a huge problem for him, but he's kind of gotten used to it because he had to. So that's where he is with sensory. They do think that his toe walking could be sensory, so they're thinking about putting lifts in his shoes. I'm trying to get him to get something for his toe walking because he does fall when he walks, especially when I hold his hand. His balance just goes and falls. I don't want him to be a toe walker when he's, you know, a teenager, adult. It's just not, it's not aesthetically, you know, what everyone looks like. I don't want him to be made fun of. My brother was a toe walker, and it's just, no. So we're gonna try to get him to not be a toe walker if possible. Again, it's all to what happens. We'll do our best. So we got, what are we at? PT? Yeah, PT. So yeah, he's a toe walker. He moves really well. He can jump. He can, you know, he's a total kid. He can tumble, very flexible. But again, toe walking definitely makes him fall. So we're working on that. What else? So Sawyer, his growth is a big problem too. He is in like the -1 percentile. He's a very short little boy. He's very thin. He is a very good eater. He doesn't eat a lot, but he eats, his variety is very good, very healthy, likes fruit, likes vegetables, likes bread, like crackers. He likes an array of things, but something's going on with his growth. So his doctor here is going to, we're doing some blood work and to get some chromosome tests done to see if anything's going on with his chromosomes, and check his thyroid out and everything to see if anything's going on, because he's very, very tiny. He looks like, people say he looks like a 2.5, 3-year-old, and he's almost 4.5. So he's tiny. And our other kids are not tiny. Our other kids are above average. So it's not normal what's going on. So hopefully we can find some answers with that soon. I think the genetic test won't be done for over a month. We haven't even gotten the test done because if you watched our previous vlogs, he had a huge meltdown in the lab, and I had to leave because it was a lot. I got hit, punched, awful. Which will segue me into meltdowns. So Sawyer and meltdowns, I would say we get one a day, and it's pretty intense. Screaming, yelling, just can't console him. Sometimes we have to put him in his room for him to calm down. Sometimes we have to leave him alone, give him a blanket. Usually why Sawyer is getting a meltdown at home is because we've taken away his tablet and his numbers, his little like magnet numbers he loves to play with. And so yeah, so meltdowns they're getting more frequent, and they're a little more scary to me. And so I definitely am now going to be leaning on Will, my husband, to take him to doctor's appointments, because I physically, when he was having a meltdown, flailing, screaming, kicking, pulling my hair, I could barely contain him. So it was a little scary. And I'm 5'2", so I'm a short little woman. So it's hard. I'm not very strong. So yeah. Sawyer's all behavior is very quiet, very to himself. I always say to everybody, if I could just pop his bubble, his world he is in, he would be like everybody else. He's literally in another world, and it's all about numbers and letters. He's so smart. He knows addition, subtraction, sum, multiplication. He knows how to count by 3s, 4s, 6s, 9s. He is so smart. Knows the alphabet, can already start reading. He is off the chain, like with learning. It blows my mind, and I hope that we can keep challenging him, and so he can be, really smart, and he can hopefully have a career one day. I don't know if Sawyer will be able to be a functioning human being. I'm very hopeful. I think that he will. It's just going to depend on if he can connect with people, and it's very hard for him. It's hard for him to, even with me. I find that he has a really hard time comprehending what I'm saying and then responding back. Like, he will just, like, if I say, how was your day? He'd say, good, but I don't even know if he's understanding what I'm saying. Today he got in trouble, and I kept trying to get him to tell me why he got in trouble, and he literally just kept saying, tablet, tablet, tablet. I could not get much out of him, trying to have him understand why he's in trouble and the action, and get him to understand, like, when you do this, you're gonna lose this, and don't do this and you get to have this kind of thing. It's really hard because he's, a typical kid, understands, and he doesn't. And so we're working on it slowly. I will talk a little bit about potty training. He is definitely not potty trained. We've tried several different attempts, and we have gotten 0 success. I go with the bubble problem. He does not care. And we've tried taking away things. We've tried reward. It's hard to even describe the connection to potty training, to anything that has to do with asking someone for help or getting our retention. It just does not get there, and I have hope and faith that it will get there, but he just does not there. So I'm thinking years, unless something magical happens, because it's just I can't even describe it. It's the craziest thing. like I've tried everything. So that's where we are with that. And I will definitely, if we get success, which I'm praying we do, I will do a video on it because I want to help other moms out there, because I am struggling and I've done so many research on it and there's not a lot out there. Everyone just keeps saying wait till they're older, and so I just keep telling myself, okay, I'm gonna wait till they're older, because it's not happening now. It's not happening now. Yeah. So I think that is Sawyer's story. If there's any other things I've missed, please comment down below and I'll try to respond back. I just wanted to update you on his story. Oh, one more thing. I totally forgot. So because Sawyer was born not alive, the doctor here is going to hopefully get him an MRI to check his brain out, which I tried to in New York, but they would not go for it because he doesn't have the typical cerebral palsy issues. No, like, you know, one side doesn't work as right. But I would just be at peace of mind to know that his brain is okay. I would think it would be such a relief to just be like, okay, there's no brain damage, you know. But I just want to know. So she seems really on board about it, so I'm so excited that we're gonna get an MRI done, and definitely we'll be filming all that just to see, because I don't know. And the chromosome stuff, we'll definitely film all that and do an update. So this is where we are now with Sawyer. I will definitely keep following us. Their first day of preschool is coming up. I'm gonna vlog all that, and the blood work and everything. We have so much going on. Colorado has given us so much opportunity for them for getting services, so we're trying to soak it all in and give them everything they possibly need, both my boys. So yeah, I think next week we'll have Griffin's story up, so please stay tuned for that, because that's a doozy of a story too. It's a lot. My boys' stories are just it's unbelievable. But yeah, so that is it. Thank you guys for watching. Please like and subscribe. Follow me on all my social media, and we will see you next time. And don't forget, guys, you guys are wonderful. Bye. Bye.